up, homies? I'm Jason. I want to teach you how to slappy tail slide the proper way with no tic tacs, just power sliding in. Once you're getting up to the curb, to learn the trick, it would be very helpful to start with your front foot hanging towards your toe edge, whether you're goofy or regular. Get it close to the edge of the board. That's going to help you swivel the board. However, to get a really good tail slide, you actually want it maybe like more of a kick flippy position, but then it's harder to power slide into the trick. When it comes to the angle that you're approaching the curb, I would say like a 30-degree angle is good to start with. Eventually work your way over to being parallel with the curb, because then you can take your tail slides further. But yeah, 30-degree angle is pretty good. 45 might be too much, 90 is too much unless you want to learn tail slide to fakie, in my opinion, which is easier. So maybe start with tail slide to fakie hitting at 90 degrees, but I digress. Let's talk more about the technicality of the trick. Again, you want your front foot to swivel the board. The back foot, just make sure it's like centered in the middle of the tail. You can put it on the very tip of the tail, and that's actually better for combos like this one. This is probably the most helpful part of this trick tip. Whenever you power slide into the curb, you actually want to hit the curb at more than a 90-degree angle. So when your tail hits, if you're perfectly 90, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna go anywhere. Often, if you hit it perfectly 90, you just get stuck and you can't get up the curb. If you can power slide a little bit more than 90, like maybe about here, the board just like glides up the curb, kind of like a nose slide. So in essence, you're kind of doing power slide to like switch nose slide. But if you do it all in one solid motion, it looks really good. It looks really fluid and it's super proper. So yeah, you want your front foot, when you're learning, to be on the toe side edge, eventually make it look like a kickflip. Back foot in the center or the tip of the tail. Center is probably easier to do combos. You're gonna wanna eventually be able to control the tip of the tail. You come up this way, rotate more than 90, make sure that the tail gets on there. Once you're on, it's like a regular tail slide. Just put your weight back and chill. Trust the trick, it's gonna go. If you're getting stuck on the tail slide, maybe put more pressure towards your heel than your toe, but in that regard, it's the same as a regular tail slide. Again, it's easier to land, at least for me, to fakie because of the momentum of your body, especially if you're learning hitting this trick from like a 90-degree angle. My tips for landing to regular are to look over your left shoulder as you're landing, and it'll kind of force your body and your mindset this way, but your board will go that way. It can be easy to overthink getting out of the trick. Just put your front foot down. Some people in my YouTube channel judge me because of this rounded curb. It's the curb outside my house. It's the easiest curb for me to skate, to make these videos with. I can do this on every type of curb. I'm 100% confident that I've nearly mastered this trick. I always make sure I really got it down before I make these tutorials. So it doesn't matter if the curb is rounded. It might make it slightly easier, but honestly, in my opinion, it's easier to get a good tail slide on a super vertical curb. Sometimes you can't do good slappies on super vertical curbs, but I have fun with those curbs because I know I can get a good tail slide or nose slide. So in my opinion, it might even be easier on a more vertical curb. Just find any curb, man. Practice it a lot. When I learned this trick, I found a part of the curb that was only like slightly higher than my truck's, but lower than the tip of my tail. That way the board just kind of like glides on. It's not as important, like the more you practice this trick, but it might help you with the beginning of learning this trick. Find a part where the curb is barely higher than your truck, but lower than your tail. That way it just kind of pops on, kind of like the cheater way. Make sure you're good at slappy frontside 50-50s, because it really takes the confidence of a slappy frontside 50-50 and some of the know-how of getting in and out of the trick, like the S curve, Before you can really master slappy tail slides, you can maybe cheat that by tic-tacking into them. But if you want to do them proper, get good at slappy frontside 50-50s, and that's all the momentum you need. Just power slide a little bit more than 90, and then you can do a slappy tail slide. Sorry if I went fast. If you want me to give more details, let me know. Thanks for checking out the channel. Peace.